Would you personally buy a China car?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm glad we're talking about this because this is a very, very layered subject. Um, I had one. I had the MG HS, and that served me well enough for. But then I needed to upgrade it. I needed a bigger car, and it was time. It's usually my cycle, so I bought a Japanese one. Following that, but to answer your question, yes, I would. I'm open to it, but there are so many things I also need to consider now because if you look at the space now more than ever, brand has become more important than new. It used to be something like, well, any brand. No, brand is more important than new because it's all getting kind of generic already. So what do you stand for? Because if we're going to compare just features for features, that's a horrible price war that nobody wins because everyone will eventually just you'll be you'll be selling yourself to the lowest bidder, so to speak. And the industry doesn't grow, the consumer won't get anything out of it. So branding has become so important. It's the Chinese are very capable. I just came back from there, attended the Beijing Motor Show, and I saw some of the products there that are already on par, if not better, than some of the legacy brands. But where they fall behind now is branding. But it won't take them long to figure that out too. And I think the biggest hurdle that the Chinese cars have here is the geopolitical tension. And that's pretty much the last hurdle they have. Once, if they can,
Get past that bump.
you better be prepared. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be the gates of hell are going to open up because that's why I'm saying legacy brands need to be very careful here because right now they can all say, hey, look, yeah, whatever. Yeah, people are still emotional. Cars are emotional purchases. But if they ever do solve that, that's going to just open the floodgates. There's really not much more to pick on anymore. You can't say they're crappy, they don't subpar. There are some, of course, that are,
Yeah.
but there are a number of players that already have international brand names. They're in the Fortune 500. They cannot afford, and there's national pride behind them too. They cannot afford to be seen as substandard and crappy and all that.
They've really stepped up lately.
They've
So
stepped up. So they there used to be we stopped questioning them with okay, they know how to build a car, but they're pangit. Okay, so they started hiring Peter Schreier and all these other
actually, European designers, right?
all the exactly.
They pirated these
That's
guys.
that's
So
right. And then you see technology transfer nowadays is instant. So what took Volvo 50 years to 30 years to develop, Geely is now putting into their cars overnight because the technology transfer is just there. And same with Lincoln Co. and all these other, they're all tied in with major European brands.
yeah, I would agree with the like presently now it's more on the Japanese brands. Of course, in terms of perception,
Yes.
the volume, and the Chinese brands have the edge on specs, all
Hmm.
the technological advancements.
Hmm.
But they somewhat lose now in terms of the branding perception and
Branding
how
perception, yeah.
they're embraced and service isn't really as tested or part supplied. But once these things are corrected, they could really
Yes,
compete.
and as I mentioned earlier about the scary intersection we're in with the way that people are about cars, it's not anymore as when I was growing up. I mean, a car was an extension of your personality. It was a mechanical expression of who you are. So it said so much about you. Now it's not the same anymore. It's an A to B. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm talking new generation. Like my kids don't even, of my kids now, I have three kids. Two of them have a license. The third one is just kind of, hey, once somebody's dragging his feet on it. I mean,
Not
like,
brand conscious.
well, it's
Just
not even brand conscious. He doesn't see driving in the same way that we did growing up because driving for me represented freedom. Now it's almost the opposite because it comes with so much responsibility. Where you're going to park it, how you're going to insure it, and the hassle of the traffic. It's not. They'd rather grab. They'd rather ride with a friend. They don't see the same. That's why he's kind of dragging his feet with getting his license. Whereas 30 years ago, we would be faking our age to get that
yeah.
license. Like we would be the opposite. But now it's like so it's at that intersection now where where Chinese cars, they don't have to be that mechanical expression anymore of that person. So they just have to give you the features and then they can win the game. And I think they've already shown that, especially in the EV sector. Now Tesla is freaking out. They're saying we can't compete with this. They're right. You can't. No, this business model is owned by the Chinese now.